Good morning, everybody. It looks like my screen is locked up, my picture down there, my video. There we go. All right, that seems to be working. I forgot to turn on that light over there. All right, so we're trying to figure out where I'm at right now. It looks like I'm still at the remove. So I'm guessing, I don't remember if GitHub I switched out my um if I switched out my dog loves to bump my hand while I'm coding or while I'm coding or when it's on the mouse she'll just come and bop it with her nose. Space and time. And npm start. So my workflow has changed a little bit. All right, let's go to GitHub real quick and see what we got going over there. I feel like we have a there it is. I feel like we have a let's see, what's our branch situation? Well, it says 3 days ago I did a merge, so that's definitely not the right one. Do I really have all these branches? I thought I generally try to delete my branches in this project. Move Cypress from project 38. Okay, so that is this branch here. Normally I'll do the push and then I come over here and it's okay, so it says this branch is one commit ahead of the main branch. So, man, I wish I had just waited till today to push it so I could. Okay, so that's easy. I've always wondered how I create a pull request. So as you see, we're just deleting a bunch of stuff and we got rid of these commands. Yeah, that all looks good. So let's go ahead and merge that. So we're going to create a pull request. And I'm just going to take another quick look. Yeah, we just looked at this stuff. Guess there's no reason to assign it. Then you saw we had all those branches. I don't like all those branches are preserved locally. Merge pull request. Um, confirm merge. Then I want to delete the branch. All right, so that branch is stale now, and let's come over here and just go over there, cd git status, git checkout main. I think it's called main. Git pool. Just so I just have the latest one. And there are a ton of different workflows for creating a new thing. Okay, issues. I think we created an issue for this, right? Faster hashing between group. Yep. Okay, so this is the one we're going to work on. This is our refactor. I have no idea. I think this is going to be really hard. I think this one's going to end up being really, really difficult task. And I definitely want to do it in a clean branch because the problem is that um, there's a very good chance that all of this stuff will need to be just like straight up deleted. Like I'll try it, I'll botch it, and then I'll have to try it again based on the new stuff I learned. That happens all the time. That is not an unusual thing. It's something that's sort of been outlawed in a lot of places, which is just such a horrible mistake. Okay, let's see. We should be up and running. Oh, I guess it's still building. But basically, I don't know what the best. I feel like there's so many different directions to go. I feel like that's the part, right? We are right at the beginning of a new effort, and the effort is to first most important thing at the outset is to very, very specifically get a good grip on what you're trying to do. And what I'm trying to do is in here in my scene. Is this my, yeah, these are my interfaces. I don't want this to be mesh IDs. I want this to be group IDs. And then I want there to be a group, a three group, and then that would have mesh IDs in it, I'm thinking. And I don't actually know exactly. So 3JS groups. And like with the change of things, it's like how you learn things has definitely changed. So the crop properties are apparently is group set to true. See, like you could add a group. I think you can add images. And unfortunately, see, this is not particularly useful to me. I think it must expand something else. Okay, almost identical to Object 3D. Its purpose is to make working with groups of objects syntactically clear. Yeah. See, I think the nice thing is like if I have to build an interface for moving things, for example, like everything that you would want to move, I think would could go in a group. So that means I can make one interface for moving groups, and then if I want to add something, I'll just add it in a group. So it's got animations. Okay, I did not realize that every single object could have its own animation clip, an array of holding the animation clips of the 3D object. I don't even know what an animation clip is. That's crazy. So children. Okay, so in actual real life, what it has is a general thing called a child, children. But I think in my world, I would rather divide it up into ads given to as a child. So in my world, in the ST world, I would rather have a group contain a list of of meshes and a list of lights and a list of everything it's going to have, as opposed to like just like a generic child. Um, I just think it'll just be so much easier to maintain manually um, if it's that way. So, but I did want to know how it works. So it looks like on the three side, so this is our interfaces. These are ST interfaces. We also have three interfaces, and we have these three dictionaries. Okay, this is not what I was thinking. So I was thinking I had like, oh no, those are my three. Oh, that was a three. Okay, so yeah, inside, no. So in here, we want to have a group in here, and the group would hold a list of meshes and a list of lights, or right now, all it would hold is a list of meshes. But our actual three thing has children, not meshes. And I guess we don't define those. It makes sense. It would 3JS, whoever did the typings for 3JS defines those. So I guess the very first thing to do, there's just no easy way to get rolling on this. So like in our services, we also have our app model, our entities services, and then we have our three services. And then in here, see, we have our native services. So in here, we would want a service that is basically almost exactly like all the rest of them, probably identical to Mesh, and basically has like a create function, an update function, a dispose. I don't know if it needs a dispose, but basically this is where we kind of define what a three would do, and then over here a group will do, and then over here we define how we want groups to work. We have full control over here. Here we are basically figuring out how to interact with three. This is our interaction with three. This is how we want to define things. So I think the first thing to do will be to go into packages of this. I don't know if this is the right packages. Yep, this is our space and time packages. We want to create a guess a new object, a new interface. So let's find NGI. And we want, this one is going to be our ST group. So do I have one for like, how did I do? So I'm looking for like S animation. Yeah, so this is kind of like what we actually want to do, something more along these lines. So I'm going to replace what I had down here. I group. And I would rather have the ST in there in the group. I think that's more helpful. ST group and ST group. And I feel like this really helped me, like having this to reference right now. I think it would have been harder to figure out. Now let's just make sure, because I know I've done a lot of changes to the structure over time. So it goes in app, and I guess we don't have to say app, and then interfaces, and then ST, and then ah, we actually want it to be ST, and then three, and then group. And that's how we know that it's like something that is directly tied to something in group. So now we're going to do npm. So now we're going to imagine what we expect to happen. I expect a new folder to show up in here with an interface. This, I think, is going to take forever. I'm sorry, it's kind of a bummer that now we're in a full blown. And honestly, the only reason I know about this is because of my other simple ThreeJS thing. And I'm going to say that that seems to be going so much better than this. This seems to be like just a lesson in um like yeah, that looks good. Like a lesson in like memory leaks and components and Angular and routing and all kinds of stuff. Uh, material, we just can't seem to get out from underneath the sort of the weight of the framework that we're trying to operate within. It seems like every time we try to do anything, we end up like working on the framework and working on structure as opposed to actually writing code. Um, I guess that's probably where I need the most help. As an individual, I've always just been a code grinder, just grinding out code and maybe, and I'm not spent a whole lot of time on architecture and things like that. Maybe that's why it's taken me so long. I don't know. But anyways, this project is a time hole. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.